Have the meds kicked in yet? I don't know. They're antibiotics. It's not like I'm not high. I don't know. What am I supposed to feel? So no joke. I have a friend who, his wife is scientifically so accomplished that I cannot describe what she does. Not for like top secret clearance reasons, but just literally for ignorance. Like, I don't understand. Hey, Joe High Death, thanks for the gifted subscriptions as well. Thank you. Regardless, she has a PhD in some kind of like molecular biology, right? She works, in some way, she's involved with developing fecal transplant therapy, which is the thing that everybody makes fun of, but also is kind of like an incredible invention of modern medicine, where like if someone's gut biome is really messed up, they basically shove someone else's poop up your butt, and then you inherit some of their bacteria in order to, you know, get like a little sourdough starter going in your colon. Which is really cool, like insanely gross also, but like really cool. So I was talking to my friend about like, you know, my ordeal, and he was like, oh, tell me what antibiotics you got. I'll run it by my wife. And then I told him, and he was like, okay, so those are like the second strongest antibiotics you can get for this, which is good, because if these antibiotics lead to your gut being colonized by C. diff, if you don't have it already, at least they left one bullet in the chamber so that they can kill the C. diff. And I was like, okay. I mean, that's a good thing to hear, I guess, is that there is still some room to grow. Hold on, I'm a little scared. No, Leech is doing great work. There's nothing to fear. What'd you get? I don't even know how to... I can never remember the name. It's like cyclopropzafanin. Someone in chat is going to know. We got lots of pharmacists in chat, as we've talked about before. Ciprofloxacin! Thank you. Yes, ciprofloxacin. Sugmafloxacin? I'm rolling this. I refuse to let my whole run simmer on like a single experimental treatment this early. I am very happy that I avoided ivermectin. I talked a lot of smack about the ivermectin crowd. I was so sure that I was gonna have to like become one of them. Oh man. Thank the Lord. Tell your doctor immediately if you get joint pain on Cipro. I know, man. I already told you I can't tell my doctor anything. What I should have done is called my doctor 6 weeks ago and said, I'm thinking about getting a prescription for ciprofloxacin, and I'm making an appointment now in case I get joint pain, in which case I will need your attention urgently. Careful while you cycle. Cipro can be known to cause ruptured Achilles tendons. Alright, that's one of the most nightmarish side effects I've ever heard in my entire life. But the good news is that I'm still fucked up enough that I am not biking at all, for at least for right now. So that shouldn't be like too much of a concern. Probably won't go out for any long walks or anything like that. No, I think it's true. I read the supporting material. The supporting material was like, hey, this can cause life-altering tendinitis. So if your tendons start to hurt, like, please cessate using the medication immediately and then talk to your doctor. Hey, Napoleon, thanks again for the gifted subscriptions. Thank you. Thank you. Sus. So true. So true. Little sus. It's been known to cause the stanky leg. I have heard that ciprofloxacin has been known to cause the stanky leg. You know what was cool about being in the hospital, though? I mean, dude, this is like... I was at the hospital for like, I don't know, 5 hours yesterday. Did you know, I did not know this, did you know at the hospital, sure, why not? The cafeteria, it's not like a Google situation. You actually, as a patient, are allowed to use the cafeteria at the hospital. I did not know that. I honestly thought it was only for doctors, nurses, and the staff of the hospital. Turns out, after I ate 2 bags of pop chips out of the vending machine, I heard another doctor go, "Oh yeah, if you're hungry, you can just go to the cafeteria." What? I thought it was like it was like the cafeteria was only for people who worked at the hospital. I had no idea that the cafeteria was also for people who were... I thought we were relegated to the vending machine only, quite frankly. Also, I got another question for you. Why the hell does a hospital have a gift shop? I sat outside of that gift shop for like 3 hours. There was literally no foot traffic in the gift shop. Nobody was like, "Oh, to commemorate my visit, I'm gonna get like a paperback copy of the new John Grisham novel." What a slap in the face, man. Are you kidding me? 4 cents? What a ripoff. Yeah, they didn't even have like cool shirts that said, "My name is Hey, would you blow me?" and stuff like that. Just had like flowers. Other stupid shit I don't even care about. Why does an airport have a bookstore? Well, I guess like people read on the... If you're 100 years old, you might read a book or a business magazine mid-flight. Because you're still at the age where you're like afraid of moving pictures. So people can buy a gift for the person they're visiting? Fuck that, dude. Buy me some Uber Eats. You don't show up with some flowers or something like that. Show up with the 10-piece chicken McNugget. Sweet and sour, hot mustard, a large Coke Zero, please. Please? Hey, thank you, Hybrid Chic, for the gifted subscriptions as well. Thank you. Now we're frickin' talking. Why, so you can just shit it out? Don't act like you're superior. You're gonna shit it out, too. I already told you, I had a normal... terrestrial mammalian bowel movement today for the first time in 3 weeks, so I'm feeling like damn good. Again, I want to be clear, it was not a normal human poop, but it was at least, I was within the right taxonomical clade this time for the first time in a long time, so I would say it was maybe more in the bovine camp, but that's okay. I don't really know what this does, but sure. You made it back onto the Bristol stool chart. You know what? I think today I may have actually made it back onto the Bristol stool chart. I think I may have gone from off the scale to whatever the worst picture is. I might be back there, which is actually a pretty stark improvement. Hey, Death, thank you for the gifted subscriptions as well. Thank you. I mean, there's like the one that just looks like clouds. I'm past that, like in a good way. At least I was this morning. Okay, so how the hell what's the point in flipping? Do you pick it up and then you flip and you take the other one? Take, flip, take. Okay, so you take Bum Friend because it's so good. And then you flip, and then you take. Okay. Can we get the Bristol stool chart tier list? The Bristol stool chart is already a tier list. I think that's like the point of it. +2? I'm not joking. Not true. Type 1 is bad. No, I know, but like it is a tier list. Like they release a legend alongside of it, right? That's like, hey, you know, types 2 to 5 are all normal and all the other ones are in like C tier or worse. Type 5 plus is also bad. How scary is... I mean, if you thought I was making the illness up, I literally just headcanoned the Bristol stool chart. Like, there was some knowledge in my head that was like 2 to 5 is good enough. 2 to 5... 1 is bad, 2 to 5 is good, 5 plus is where it gets a little scarier. Isn't what 1 is like when you actually shit out like a diamond? Like a fully formed bit of like mica exits your colon? And then 5 plus is where it's just like, I mean, I don't even want to say it. It's just pulp. It's just vapor. I had a 1 last year. It sucked a lot. Okay, I mean, here's a question for, as long as, you know, we're all mature adults here. And I mean, at this point, we've been through it, right? Like, I've talked about some gross stuff. Not like because I love it. That's just an ancillary benefit. Partly because I'm living it. Hey, Napoleon. Thank you as well. Thank you. Or thank you again, I should say. But like, on the spectrum of constipation, diarrhea... you know, constipation on one end, diarrhea on the other end, I would really rather have the diarrhea, for sure. I would much rather have, like, too much coming out, but at least it comes out easy, than have, like, too little come out, but feel like you have to go, and maybe you're even in, like, physical pain as a result. Which is why I keep getting so annoyed when my mom keeps asking me if I got H. pylori, because she had H. pylori like 30 years ago. She's like, I could have given you H. pylori, and then it's like, it can stay dormant in your stomach. Oh my god, I got hit. But this won't work though, like flip won't work here, right? Because then like, I looked up the symptoms for H. pylori, like the #1 symptom of H. pylori is constipation. And I'm like, Mom, I might have H. pylori, but it's not what's dominating the ecosystem right now. Okay, so it won't work. Even if you walk out, walk in. Okay. All right, fair enough. Doesn't work on boss rooms? That should only take a second to fix. Hold on. Because people are saying, do you have a bacterial diagnosis yet? I don't yet, but in theory, like, it's possible that any second now, the results of my first sample will come out. Let me go check my government approved iPhone app. I've also, like, when I first logged into my health records, it was like, I had like 10 tests in my entire life. And then I've added like 7 pages to my records. Oh, microbiology lab results, order status pending, June 29th. That should only take a second. No problem. I'm not a doctor, okay? But like, I was a little annoyed when I was at urgent care a week ago, and the guy was like, well, let's order some stool samples, but the way it usually goes is that it takes like a week to get the results, and then by the time you get the results, you're over whatever gave you the problem in the first place. And I'm like, that doesn't seem like something's fucked up about the system to you? It's like by the time the results of the test come back, you're either like naturally healed or you're dead. Like that just seems, I mean, it's still pretty good. That seems a little backwards to me, but it has the culture. Okay, that's actually fair. I'm not very smart. They do have to take it and culture bacteria on it, I guess. That's fair enough. They can't speed that up. Can't you just add more agar to the plate or something? Can't you just sprinkle like some Cheeto dust on the agar to speed it up? Can't you just put a little bit of like my... I mean, let me tell you, I don't know if you need to culture it because it's growing pretty well in my gut. In 2 pH hydrochloric acid, it seems to be growing pretty well. So if you can't culture that shit on a plate full of damn sugar, you gotta go back to biology school, man. Napoleon, thank you again. Can't you just throw some G Fuel on? Can't you just put some Gatorade powder on it or something like that? See what pops up? So bacteria only grows from 8:30 to 4:30 Monday to Friday and not on the stat holidays. It was really stupid of me to get sick around the Canada Day combined July 4th weekend. Like, I don't know what I was thinking, man. That was, I mean, I did see a retweet. And by the way, again, I'm not really ragging on the doctors. I'm annoyed with the system that I mean, I feel like the doctors largely are doing they're doing the stats-based thing, right? Some 33-year-old guy comes in and is like, my tummy hurts. They're like, well, you know, odds are, I've looked at 10,000 cases like this, 9,995 of them was like, you know, he drank too much White Claw and he just needed like a week to sort of sort himself out. So I understand like where they're coming from, but so it's a little annoying as well. Sure, yeah, also a little annoying. Thought I had a better point for that, but I don't really. This run is a little spooky, huh? Did I tell you about how I was in the hospital at the ER for like 4 hours on Saturday? I was just sitting there and, you know, I don't need like constant attention, but I was a little annoyed because in my room there was like it was partitioned and a dude came in and the nurse was immediately like, so hey, what kind of sandwich would you like, salmon or roast beef? And I was like, what the hell? No one's even giving me a cup of damn water. This guy comes in and immediately they're like, you got a choice of 2 premium sandwiches? I mean, those are premium sandwiches, man. That's not like a ham or an egg salad. What would you have chosen? I mean, I feel like I probably would have chosen the roast beef just because, I don't know, a salmon sandwich at the hospital is not that inspirational for me, but McCallicos. I got there. Thanks for the gifted subscriptions. Thank you. I will also say, I think I'm... Oh, hold on. We got to get Flip ready. I think I'm finally reaching... and maybe this is wishful thinking, but I think I'm finally reaching the point now where I can be... I'm, like, enjoying the upside of being 10 pounds lighter. Instead of, like, because weight loss is not a good symptom. When you feel like you're eating, like, as much as you can eat, and you're losing weight and, like, looking gaunt, that's a troubling symptom. Well, you know what? Let's see if Small Rock's here. Give me one of those, and then flip me, and then one of these. There you go, normal money. Thank you, Napoleon. Thank you, I appreciate it, and I'm happy to hear. But I think I'm at the point where like I'm ready to embrace being 10 pounds down, and like, I mean I went 10 pounds down like. I was drinking like 1.5 liters of apple juice a day. That's probably like 600 calories of apple juice. That's fine. I didn't want to deal with the devil anyway. I was trying to snack like crazy. I was I was eating as much as I could, basically. But now I feel like I can actually enjoy it. Like, I feel like today my appetite's a little higher. I can take advantage of it. You know what? We don't even want Curse of the Tower anyway, so this is not a wasted flip situation. Thank you, Bot Nasty 9, Napoleon again. Thank you. I'm eating, FYI. That's cool, you know. You have control over that, and you could turn off the stream. You could stop eating. Either one is fine, really. It's all about you. It's always about you. Could you please stop talking about your health concerns? My Uber Eats driver just arrived. Just letting you know. Haha. I don't care. Live your life. You gotta make the decisions that are right for you, okay? Belly Jelly's actually kind of sick. This other item is a kind of teleporter that I don't care for, so who cares? It's like you just got a 3-piece chicken tender from White Spot, right? Or Triple O's. You're at the Canucks game. Some dude gets his neck sliced open by a skate. Refs, I'm eating. Can we clean up all that blood on the ice? I'm trying to eat my chicken tenders and fries from Triple O's. This man had the audacity to have a medical incident on the ice that I find not conducive to maintaining my appetite. Hey, Bombersis. Thank you for the gifted subscriptions. Thank you. Although, to be honest, at an arena, it's kind of more understandable. Not just because the food's expensive, but because, I don't know, like, the seats are so damn small. It's so annoying that, like, I have to eat in your seat when you can't even stretch your elbows out a little bit because you'll be, like, butting into the people on both sides of you. It's so annoying. Thank Deps 1. And then don't even get me started on, like, okay, until the end of the period, you, like, leave your, like, your food garbage under your seat. But then somebody wants to get up and get, like, 6 beers over the course of the period. So every time you stand up, you got to stand up and try to... There's no point in flipping. Stand up and try to not accidentally step on your chicken tendy tray and tip over the dipping sauce all over your shoes. You got a half-empty soda cup there, and you're also trying to, like, do I stand up and lean as far backwards as possible? You know, what do I do in order to... I mean, here's what I'm going to say, honestly. I think they got to make stadium seating a little bigger, man. At least at the Canucks Stadium, I'm surprised. Like, I'm a pretty average size guy, I would say, and I'm uncomfortable in the seats. Can't you just make the seats like 20% bigger, and then the aisles like 10% wider, and then the building 30% bigger? I guess it all comes down to money, but like 6'8" is average. I told you I lost 10 inches of height thanks to my near-death experience. I don't want to talk about it. No, I mean, I've sat in like club seats and stuff like that. I do that. They're a little better, but club seats, I don't know if this is true only at Rogers Arena, but it's the only one I can speak for. It's very funny to me the way they market club seats is that, like, there's premium food vendors in the club section that only you can access, which is basically just, like, acknowledging that every other section in the arena has, like, dog shit concessions. But if you're in the club seat, you could get a smoked meat sandwich. Everywhere else, there's, like, personal Panago pizzas and, like, $9 juggo juice. But in the club section, holy cow, you can actually get fish and chips. And you just had to pay $75 extra for the ticket in the first place. And the seats are in better locations, to be fair. I mean, the club section's kind of sick. It's just expensive. I'd drink a $9 chug jug. I paid $7 for a bottle of Evian at a Canucks game once because I forgot to bring my daughter's water bottle. I'm not being facetious with you, we've talked about this before. A large beer, which I'm going to say is, I'm going to say it's 24 ounces. A large beer at a Canucks game is like $19.75. And that was before the inflation print. So I don't even want to know what it's going to be in the 2022-2023 season. It's a scary... I just prefer not to think about it. I got a large Michelob for $15 at Citi Field. Now that's... Look, that's a tragic story. Without being too much of a snob, I do think Michelob Ultra... I can't speak for Michelob, normal. I do believe that Michelob Ultra is the worst alcoholic beverage I've ever tasted in my entire life. It tasted like a saline solution. It is low carb, that's the whole thing, right? Like each one is like 40 calories or something like that, which is kind of crazy. They had Michelob Ultra at an Airbnb. They stocked the fridge at an Airbnb with Michelob Ultra once. And I was like, sure, I'll try it. Because it was like, it had that and it had Rainier. And I had had enough Rainiers in my life to know that Rainier is also dog shit. So I was like, sure, I'll try a Michelob Ultra. How bad could it be? Let's just say after that, I stuck with the Rainiers. Vitamin R is not dog shit. No, it is. Okay, calling poison a vitamin is a bit that I can definitely get down with. Vitamin R. It's great, F off. Every place has like a shitty lager that's like 22 cents a can that we all pretend is good if you live there, okay? It's not like, I'm not trying to like pop the illusion that Rainier is like horrible or something. You already know. Everybody's got the, it's either it's that or it's Icy Light or it's Natty Light or it's PBR or something like that, like everybody's got one. Iron City, yeah, Icy Light. It's not pronounced Rainier. Come on. Antibod. Mandelbaum. Thank you, Dan. Thank you. Wait, so Dan, I obviously, congratulations on defeating Melania. Mrs. Knaus, did you, hold on. Don't mind if I do. I mean, did you fight another boss today? Or did you just call Comcast business? You did. Okay, well, dude, he started Radagon the Red Prince. Okay. Also a very hard boss, but definitely not as hard as Millennia. But hard, what is probably like a top 10 most difficult boss, maybe top 5. But I mean, Millennia's so heads and shoulders above everybody else. It is fair, yeah. It's a more fair fight than Millennia, for sure. Bro, please. I'm begging you. Okay, do you see this run right now? We have no... Whatever, just blow it up. Let me in. We have no damage upgrades. Holy cow, we got a damage upgrade. Ever thought about doing stand-up? Well, okay. Well, I mean, like, there's a little... Let me give you the micro story, okay? In university, my friend and I did stand-up at an open mic one night because we were like, how hard could it be? And then the first... We gave ourselves 24 hours to write material, which was a curse to begin with. Like, that is not nearly enough time. I got on stage with an absolute... Just a set dripping with venom towards the elderly... and essentially got heckled off the stage before I produced even a single laugh. He got on stage and wholesale ripped off the Tenacious D bit about cock push-ups, literally right down to the punchline being exactly the same, and received uproarious laughter, applause that I've never heard before in my entire life, and like people after the set were buying him drinks and stuff like that. I was fucking livid. But then we did it again, like 2 weeks later, and the script was flipped. I got some laughs with original material, I might add, that I don't recall. And then he met crickets, just complete silence from the audience during his set. And then we never did it again. But honestly, I like watching some stand-up, but it is hard for me to shake the idea that in 2022, the amount of artifice that surrounds it is just kind of humorous, right? I know we've said this before, so I apologize, but it seems weird to like buy a ticket and then be like, I'm so excited to like watch this guy get on stage and tell lies for 40 minutes. Like it just seems like you need. I'm not saying that the stand-up comedian should only tell stories that really happened. But, like, why do we engage in this shared delusion that's like the only way I can laugh is if the comedian makes up a story that allows them to reach this punchline? Like, that just seems a little bit. It's just kind of weird. It's a strange format that we all agreed, like, this is how comedy is meant to be delivered. It's to set up a bit, isn't it? Yeah, but that doesn't strike you as, like, a little strange? That, like, in order for this guy to make his point, like, first he's got to tell an insane lie about, like, how some lady was mean to him at the car rentals counter. You do it all the time? Yeah, but I was born in the 80s, so, like, what do you expect? Like, I'm a slave to the format. It's the era I grew up in. I just thought, you know, the future generation would be making something better by now. And they did. It's called Inside. But anyway. I do like some stand-up comedians. I'm not anti-stand-up. While I was in bed a lot over the past couple of days, I rewatched all the Tom Segura specials on Netflix. I find them very funny. But I will, and again, maybe this is like too much of like this is like a forehead comment, but like, the things I like the least about the Tom Segura's stand-up specials is when he was like, this happens to me like once a month at hotels. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. Okay, instead of making up the story, can't you just be like, hey, I like thought of a funny joke in my head? Imagine there was a guy that like did this. I would be like, oh man, if that guy existed, that would be really funny. But that's basically what they're doing. But instead of doing that, they're like, you know, I was at the budget car rental kiosk the other day, and there was a guy, and I swear to God, he was doing the thing that I imagined that a guy was doing. And wouldn't it be funny if it happened? But now I'm pretending it really exists. And then it's like, in the audience, they're like, everybody knows a guy that is kind of like that, but not exactly, because this exact guy doesn't really exist. But if he did, it would be this guy that I know. I'm not following this. We're deep in the comedy tubes right now, okay? I mean, I'm not saying it would be the guy at a stand-up show that is like, you know, that didn't happen. You know, you sign like a contract when you show up. That's like, just so you know, the person on stage is going to be telling some white lies in order to get to their meandering punchlines that maybe make you laugh or make you think a little bit. You know, you got to suspend your disbelief slightly. Which is fine. I mean, again, it doesn't have to be true to be funny. Like, for example, Chib's statement. Wait, wasn't Denzel Washington that U.S. president who got killed? That's not a true statement, but it is very funny. Comedies, it's weird, man. Like, things that make you laugh is very strange. I still think one of the best off-the-cuff jokes I ever made is that, like, you know, all millennial jokes they're like 17 paragraphs long, and they start with like a premise that you agree upon, and then they end at some like ridiculous punchline hedged in wordplay or something like that. And then every Zoomer joke is like a jar of peanut butter, but they switch the P and the B, so it says peanut butter. The peanut butter just coming in off the top of the dome piece was like, that was a moment of divine inspiration for me. And just to be clear, I think peanut butter is like way funnier than like the average millennial humor, which is like there's like 2 millennial jokes I see all the time on Twitter that piss me off. One of them is and they both have the same format, and the format is why they piss me off. They pretend to be real stories or like essays. So they'll make like 17, like 1 of 17. You won't believe that this really happened to me today. And then at the end of it, it turns out they rug pull you, and it was all just a meandering way to get to like a single pun. Fucking kill me. And then the doctor said, well, that's it for all intensive purposes. And I was... And then the other one is... I apologize to the millennials, by the way, because I am one of you. Allegedly. At least in age, if not in spirit. The other one is endless quote tweets, where like somebody will make a quote tweet and their text will be like, this is so true, and then the thing that they quote tweeted will say like this, so much this. So then you click on the thing that they quote tweeted to see what they're saying so true to, and then it's a quote tweet of a quote tweet that's like, so much this, oh my god, someone finally gets it. And it's like an endless quote tweet chain of like hundreds of idiots over and over just going like, so much this, just to like irritate you. And you're like, wow, it's hilarious. It's about as funny as when like you know, the marketing intern accidentally uses CC instead of BCC, so like everybody gets to see everybody else's email address, and then you start getting reply all by like the most annoying people on the planet. LOL, somebody losing day job for this one. Who did this? LOL. Hilarious. Anyway. Hey millennials, fuck you. No more bullshit. Based. What kind of humor is It's Morbin time? I don't know, man, but I still find it slightly humorous at the very least. I find it very funny that they have to like... Dude, you know, have you seen all the hand-wringing online about the teens going to see Minions in Suits? I read a thread that I don't have to tell you where it is once I tell you what the replies were like. I read a thread that was like, oh, like AMC or Regal Cinemas have started banning teens in suits from seeing Minions. Okay, so why are they banning them? Because there's some troublemakers that throw bananas at the screen. Okay, you shouldn't be throwing bananas at the screen. Full stop. Top comments in the thread: social media is a cancer. One day they'll analyze TikTok the same way they analyze cigarettes and hard drugs for the effects that it has on the mind. Bro, is 16-year-old boys wearing suits to the Minions movie? How fucking old are you, idiot? Shut up. We got real problems going on in society. It's a little... Is a child wearing a suit to see a children's movie in the theater, and you're like, ugh, I hate society. Where do you find out what adults are doing, dipshit? It's literally meaningless. Like, it should have no impact on your life whatsoever. It's not like you were doing better shit when you were 16. Don't be ridiculous. I was 16 there with you. People were like, you know, putting lighter fluid inside of a cantaloupe, lighting up a little wick, and then hitting it with a baseball bat. People were just burning the seats on the school bus for absolutely no reason. That's Pog, though. I'm just saying. I 100%. I think if I was like 16 in 2022, I would be going to see Minions in a suit. That just seems like my unique brand of humor. It's kind of wholesome, honestly. As long as you're not throwing a banana at the screen. If you're just going to the theater in a suit, if the joke is just that you're seeing a movie that is not worth this level of formality, and then you go see it with a bunch of other people wearing suits, and you cheer and you applaud uproariously at the end, and then otherwise you're not that disruptive, then live your life, man. That sounds funny as hell to me. I did also, you know, I was on baby sleep duty last night, so I was reading a little bit of shit mom groups say. There's a post that got me laughing pretty good that was like, hey, just so other moms know, in the new Minions movie, The Rise of Gru, one of the villains appears to be a Catholic nun, just in case that's the sort of thing that would bother you. And I was like, thanks, good looking out. Appreciate it. Can't escape from the damn leftist Hollywood agenda, man. One of the villains in the new Minions movie appears to be a nun. She did not say is a nun. So I don't know if it's like Gru in the nun costume trying to fit in or something like that, but she has the appearance of a nun, just in case that's the sort of thing that you don't want to expose your child to. There was another post that it made me, dare I say it, it made me cringe a little bit, but this mom was like, found these in my son's closet. He appears to have a serious case of amnesia when I ask him what they are. Does anyone know what this is? I'm very curious. And then it was just a picture of like 10 different shoe lifts in order to make you appear to be taller when you're wearing shoes. And I was just like, oh man, that had to be like a really traumatic moment for the kid when the mom pulled out his Ziploc bag full of shoe lifts and was like, excuse me, what the fuck is this? She probably thought it was like gang paraphernalia or something like that. He was just like, Mom, I'm just sensitive about my height. Oh, that's disappointing. That's a scary, well, not, it's just a sad thought. Holy cow, honey, that we kept all the good items at the bottom just as a joke. She probably thought you used them to roll joints. Dude, it actually made me like, I was very appreciative of the relative sanity in my life growing up. There were other people in the thread that commented like some of the most insane things I've ever seen in my life. Like, for example, one person was like, my mom was like this. When I was 6 years old, I came home from school and I had a straw, and she asked me, is that straw for doing cocaine? To a 6-year-old? That, like, in the first grade? How's a first grader gonna get cocaine, man? Is that stuff, like, really expensive? I don't think they're just giving it out, like... Well, in Vancouver, maybe. I don't know. We'll see how this next municipal election goes. Am I right? Oh, man. Also, like, I love the idea that, like, if your kid has a straw, The number one thing is like, let me guess, cocaine. I'm such an idiot as a parent that I would probably be like, let me guess, you consumed some kind of beverage with this thing. Let me guess, you shoved this piece of beverage paraphernalia into like a cup and then sucked on one end of it until the soda ended up going into your mouth and then you drank it. But I guess there's some astute parents out there that are like, let me guess, cocaine straw. I don't even think you use a straw for cocaine. Don't you use like a rolled up $20 bill or something like that? On a glass table in Paul Simon's apartment? It's got to be 100? I don't know, man. I'm not familiar with this part of the ecosystem. You can call me Al? Oh, you can call me Al. Just don't call me late for dinner. In a movie, I've never seen someone use like a McDonald's straw to take cocaine. Holy cow. That would be actually very humorous. Now that, you know what? It would probably save your back some work because you wouldn't have to lean down so far. I think you'd have to generate like quite an inhalation though in order to get it up the length of the damn thing. Holy cow. Let me guess, cocaine straw. Hey, you're live, by the way? I obviously have never done cocaine. I'm gonna get banned for making a joke about how funny it would be to see someone do it out of like one of those crazy straws with all the loop-the-loops in it. This is not a joke. I was at a party once, and, you know, we had probably consumed enough beers to be very, very unhealthy. So I'm not making this argument from a health standpoint. But we were at a party once, and there were some friends of a friend there, which is always how, like, at a college party, like, that's how you get introduced to things that are outside of your comfort level. And I remember we'd been talking to these guys for like a couple hours, and they were like, hey, we're gonna go do yayo in the bathroom. You wanna come? And I was like, no, thank you. And then they went into the bathroom, presumably to do yayo, which I later looked up online, found out is a slang for cocaine. They went into the bathroom to do whatever their plan was, I guess, and I just left. I know it was like a mom get me out of here, like they're doing yayo in the bathroom sort of moment, but I was like, I'm gone. I'm removing myself from the situation. It was not even the yayo necessarily, but it was mostly, I would say, the fact that I was like, we clearly are like a different, like the friends of a friends that came over, I prefer when people invited like friends of a friend and they were like, yeah, I have like a few Mike's Hard Lemonades now and then, and we're like, well, check it out. You know, this game's called Edward 40 Hands. Like, I prefer to be the degenerate in the situation. When the friends of a friends come over and they're like, hey, do you want to do some drugs that you only see in the movies? I'm like, I gotta get out of here. I'm scared as hell, man. Okay, somehow this run worked. You ever go to like a college party and somebody brings somebody in their 40s? That's how you know you should leave as well. Any 40-year-old that would come to a college party is not to be trusted. Not just for like Monka-S reasons, but they are going to show up with drugs that old people do at a young person party. This is a recipe for disaster. We had a housemate who grew up in the hometown that I went to university with. She invited her friend from high school, who was like 20, and then she was like, hey, this is my neighbor, who was like fucking 47 years old. Is it cool if he comes? And I'm like, well, he's already at like the fucking door. So what am I gonna say? Like, no? Anyway, that was not a great night. It was just weird. He was probably 32. Dude, he had Thanos wrinkles, man. Okay. We won. Let's do another Isaac. We're kind of on a wave right now. He looked like Josh Brolin. You're going to tell me he was 32 years old? It's madness. He did not have the Infinity Gauntlet. But he did have many Ziploc bags full of things.